How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman, and for those of you that are tuning in today, I want to make sure that you recognize this is part two of a two-part broadcast. And the first part of the broadcast was titled Internet Research, the Past, and AI, the Present. And of course, the first part of it was part one, and this is part two. And I want to go right into part two, and this is from an article from a gentleman named Matt Binder that was published in May. And the title of the article is A Lawyer Used ChatGTP for Legal Filings. The chatbot cited non-existent cases it just made up. And so what we're seeing now is professionals using these sources to augment the things that they're doing. And unfortunately for this particular case, and others I'm sure that are out there, not just this one, I'm just citing this, and I'm not going to use any names here. Unfortunately, I know that you can look it up, just to make a point here that this is just probably one example of what is going on. And so this lawyer had been practicing for over 30 years as a professional attorney. And now, because of what he did, this case that's being in the courts right now could completely derail his entire career, and he could lose his law license. Why? Because he relied on ChatGTP in his legal filings, and the AI chatbot manufactured previous cases. It just made them up. Some people are calling these things, and this really is really irking me. Well, it's AI hallucination. Well, that word hallucination should tell you everything. Okay. Is AI engines on drugs? I'm not making fun of drugs by any means, or the horrible epidemic we have on all these things. There's no such thing as hallucinations in AI. There's a pattern that it's recognizing. And the lawyer who made this error, if I can use that phrase, deliberately or unwittingly, to me, startlingly said he didn't realize that this AI chatbot would make things up. He was unaware of the possibility that the content could be false. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, just think about this for a moment. I know most of you recognize the internet is either a cesspool at its worst, or a bit of entertainment in the middle, and possibly some knowledge stuff at the other end. It's a mixture of these things. And for someone in the legal profession to not recognize what was happening here, I would question this gentleman's credentials, frankly. And I'm not an attorney, but is that the judgment you want people to have who are trying to defend you? It's kind of scary. And again, I want to make sure that in this broadcast, the people recognize I'm not picking on this one individual. I'm just pointing out this public case that's out there to give you an example of what is going on. Okay. And of course, we all know that these engines are trained on lots of different things. And it's a language model that follows instructions. Because if you ask ChatGPT for information, it's going to give you something back, whether it's factual or not. So what's happening here right now? Well, there's a hearing going to happen to see potential sanctions. And I'm sure this is one of the many that are going out there, not in just the legal profession, but in any profession. And those of you that are enterprise architects or business architects, please be cautious of not only ChatGPT and AI, but the internet and unvetted information. As the phrase goes, one of the great things about the internet is anybody can write anything about anything. And one of the problems with the internet is anybody can write anything about anything. Until next time, just remember, hard work, maybe that's what we should be doing. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.